I'm still getting used to I'm a politician. You know, I used to think this title was just, it was nasty. There was just it was this bad thing, right? But when I understood the magnitude of this space and really knew that if we are not at the table where policies are made that impact our people, and that channel of community sustainability is rooted in that policy, and if I have to be called a politician, then you know what? Call me politician every day, all day. If something doesn't affect you, it doesn't exist in your world, right? So me, I didn't understand that there were women and there were young girls who literally did not have access to pads. There was a story that just broke my heart, and I was like, I need to do something about it. They were using either leaves, they were using, you know, old mattress, you know, pads, sponges. I understood the privilege that I have, right? And so I was like, and I grew up in a home where my dad was like, my mom, my dad, you have to give back in one way or another, whether it is where you are locally or where you come from, right? And so for me, Sandy Naps, this whole idea of Sandy Naps is a project initiative that provides reusable sanitary pads to girls here in Kenya. But the best part about this too is I work with women in the US to sew these pads and then ship them here.
And welcome to Divas in Business, a show created to highlight female achievements, a show created to assure that your dreams are valid. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Natasha Gunda. I'm your host, and with me today, I get to sit down with an amazing woman of our time. She has accomplished so much and done so much for the community. She now represents her people at the House of Representatives in where? Minnesota. She has participated in various civic initiatives, including founding the social enterprise Sunny Pads, and so much more. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to Divas in Business, Hulda Momanyi.
Yes.
Should I call him Mheshimiwa or?
You know, now here in Kenya, people have protocols. So it's up to you.
How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me here.
You're welcome. I'm so elated.
Thank you.
But let's just start off.
I am a passionate woman in regards to community work, leadership, policy, politics, and then also from the business side, I work for a company called Boston Scientific. I do a lot of data privacy for them. Back in the day, I used to dabble in being an agent for a cooperative bank because I truly believed in that's where equity came in, right? You know, our people in the diaspora having access to institutions back home. Yes. All right.
Yeah. So let's just start with your background. Yeah. I know you were born in Nyamira County, 1985.
Yes. 85, yes, that's correct. I am old.
Tell us a little bit about growing up in Kisii until when you went to the States.
Yeah, so a lot of people, you know, don't know the story of my family. You know, I come from a very humble background, and I think that's what makes, you know, this whole fairy tale of who I have become today very meaningful. So my family is from Nyamira County, a tiny little village called Nyamemiso.
Nyamemiso.
That's a straight up Kisii, right? You know, my grandmother, Milko Vonyo, my grandfather passed away when my father was 5. So she remained a widow who raised about, I believe it was 8 kids on her own. And so we grew up in a very just poverty. Sometimes there's poverty, then there's poverty.
The way you say poverty. Okay, poverty.
You have to say with the African accent. That's how you know. And so that's where my roots are here in Nyamira, in Kenya. You know, growing up, I went to the States when I was 9 years old. You know, and my parents, especially my mom, was very instrumental in making sure that we understood where we came from. We understood that we had a culture and we had to preserve it. And so, my friend, I know the whole entire Kisii with the accent, but I don't know Swahili. I only know a few words in Swahili.
That is, oh my gosh. So just give us a bit about your life from 9 years old all the way to now. So once we came to the States, you know, being that young, obviously, was an opportunity for especially me and my siblings to kind of figure out who are we in this new culture, in this new world. But what defined our family story in America was that we fought the immigration system. My family fought the immigration system for 11 long years. And I'm going to ask you about that,
Yes, 11 long years. And through that time, you know, my dad was very consistent. He was like, focus on school. Don't worry about that. Let me handle that. Focus on school. Take care of your business, and we'll go from there. And so once the whole immigration, you know, you said you'll talk about it. Once that whole situation was sorted out, you know, how my dad presented us with the green cards once we won our green cards. He took it and he put it into between two pieces of bread, and he said, today I have cooked, and we thought hell has frozen over because my dad was never in the kitchen. So we were like, and we are eating sandwiches in this Kisi home, so we knew something was happening. So as we bit into that, obviously our green cards were in there, and he said, this right here is your bread. This is how you will build your wealth. This is how you will make it in this country, because I don't have the luxury of giving you financial wealth. This is how you will survive. And my friend, I took it and ran with it.
What was the reaction?
We were very shocked, but at the same time, we also, I don't think at that time we understood the magnitude of that. Now that I'm older, now that I've stepped into certain spaces, I'm like, that moment redefined my whole journey, because I used that moment to end the whole entire, you know, immigration, you know, story. To basically push me. I understood that my dad didn't have some money on the side waiting for me to go to school. I needed to work.
You needed to work.
Hustle. You know, so when I went to school, you know, I did undergrad degrees. While my friend, 3. I did international business. I did international relations and reconciliation studies. And then I got my master's. While my friends were busy partying, me, I was busy studying and going to work.
And I honestly can attest to that, because when I was doing some research of my own about Hulda, it said nothing about you know, like what is it? It said nothing about, you know, your life before. Hulda Momanyi. So it seems as though you are very, very, you know, into books. But apart from that, you openly talk about deportation. I've had that story. Tell us a little bit about, you know, living in fear of coming back to Kenya, where you know, probably left. You talked about the abject poverty that you were living in. Tell us about that.
I mean, when immigrants go to America, you know, we have these big dreams about what America is. You know, we have these assumptions about what America is, and so my immigration story, my family's immigration story, is definitely a chapter of my life that literally changed the trajectory of my life. Right. You know, again, those 11 years was years of where my parents did everything that they could to make sure that they created normacy for us. And when you came to the end of it, you know, where we didn't even know whether or not we were going to be deported, my dad was like, if I get deported, where are my kids going to go? You know, he was thinking, you will go to that uncle of yours, you'll go to that auntie of yours. Because he understood that if my kids stayed in America, they would have a better life than they would have had here in Kenya. And you know what? We serve a living God. But I don't know about your audience, but you know, I'm a firm believer in my faith in God, right? I truly believe if we were all going to come here, God was going to provide. But at that moment, my dad knew that if I was going to get deported, my kids needed to stay in this country to get the opportunities that America would offer. And so it was within 48 hours, my sister, 48 hours when God did a miracle and our case was overturned.
It usually just happens so fast.
I'm telling you, it's only God. Like, not a lot of cases like my father's case ends up a happy ending. It was only by God's grace. And to sit here and literally just think about and reminiscent on 22 years later, I would be elected.
Oh my God.
Not just elected, but the first My friend,
The first Kenyan.
The first Kenyan born.
Yes.
Because the first Kenyan American was who? My sister. It was Obama. So now people...
No, for this office.
Now people are associating my name. This young girl from some village somewhere with Obama.
I mean, let's fast forward to your political career.
Yes.
Now you're a grown woman. You have 3 degrees and 1 master's degree. You're over the moon. And now it's time to vote. 2024 comes, and it was December. Correct me if I'm wrong. In November. And you win with over 60%.
That's right.
What was the feeling knowing that a few years ago you were being deported?
Let me tell you. let me actually take you back. Okay, let me take you back a couple of years. So, my friend, when you don't win, nobody knows you exist.
Nobody knows you exist.
I don't know if you know that I ran for Senate in 2022.
Yes, I actually saw that. Yes.
So I ran in 2022 thinking I got this because the momentum was in my campaign.
Yes.
And you know, have you ever invested in something so much, you've given all of your resources, your soul into something, and you don't reach the end.
Yes.
And you fall short.
Yes.
When I lost, I was depressed. My people, when you lose.
I know that feeling all too well.
Yes. And so, but I remember the people around me encouraging me and telling me, it was never about you. It was never about just your race. And so when 2024 came around, we had learned our lessons from 2022.
Right.
We had learned what it takes to run a successful campaign. And so now coming back to your question, how did I feel? Yani, it was like reliving a memory from 2022 because 2022 I walked into the memories flashed. Our watch party night, right? And I'm walking in and I see my whole entire team outside, and you could feel the energy,
right? And
you could tell that we hadn't won, and it was like somebody hit me like a train, and I literally lost my balance, and I told him, just give me a second.
I need to breathe.
Now 2024. I didn't even have to wait for my team. They were already, I could hear that. You know our kisses.
Yes.
They wouldn't let me even. So realizing that I had won that night, it was this emotion of like just relief. Like I had this log on my shoulder. Now it was done.
Wow.
And then it didn't take me until the next day at 4 p.m. because now that night we celebrated with my team, and now Kenya was waking up. Mind you now, because of the time zones. As soon as I got home, Kenyan, Citizen,
right,
you name it.
All
were calling me, trying to get on the Zoom calls, trying to. By the time I was done, it was 4 p.m. the next day. I crushed. I woke up the next day going, I just won a race. And I couldn't believe it.
So
couldn't believe it.
I mean, this conversation now is getting a bit sweeter. From then on, the kisses decided.
The kisses.
Homecoming.
Hey, Maze.
Tell us about that.
Maze. It wasn't even the kisses. It was actually the president.
The president, yes.
He was like, we need our daughter home.
Yes.
My friend, do you remember?
I remember when you were on top of the cars. I'm like,
not even that. It all started with our parliament. They spent a good 45 minutes discussing me on the floor, trying to figure out your seat to what level, going back and forth. And I'm sitting here, this small girl, I'm being discussed in Kenyan parliament. And so that journey of coming home was a homecoming, a bittersweet, coming back to pay homage to my roots.
Right.
You know, and Kenya, you people honored me.
Yes.
And then now let's go to Kissy. They lost it.
And I know one thing about Kissy homes, you will eat. I'm sure there was food everywhere.
My friend.
What was the first thing you ate when you came?
Matoke. What else? It was matoke and avocado. And ebrangoti. All of those things.
And marurano?
My friend, me, I'm a Kissy original. I'm what they call a omosamaro.
Yes.
You know, we like to go like this with ugali.
Yes. Oh, yes. All right, so now let's move on to the next question. You were not prepared. Was it that you never thought that you were ever going to be a politician?
No.
So what? Now that you're in, how's the feeling? How do you feel about that?
I'm still getting used to I'm a politician. You know, I used to think this title was just, it was nasty. There was just it was this bad thing, right? But when I understood the magnitude of this space and really knew that if we are not at the table where policies are made that impact our people, and that channel of community sustainability is rooted in that policy, and if I have to be called a politician, then you know what? Call me politician every day, all day. You know, so I'm still... In America, you know, we don't, there's no such thing as, you know, titles. The only time I'm called Mheshimiwa and representative is that when I walk into that big white building where I legislate, right?
Yes.
Me, I can go to the grocery store, I take my kids to school. People don't care. I mean, unless I'm in my constituency and they're like, oh, even that. Me, I'll be walking in my neighborhood and people will just, and they mind their business. My friend, look, me here.
Everybody just
my friend, I have securities here that I don't even know exist. Right?
Yes. How are you, getting accustomed to that?
Protocols in Kenya are very strange. Me, I'm still used to it. Me, I'm so used to just getting up and go. But here now, I have to be Mheshimiwa. It's taking me a while to get used to it. Sometimes people have to tell me, Mheshimiwa, please slow down.
Yes.
You have to let them sit and then you stand up, or they're waiting for you to sit because they won't sit until you sit down.
And you just want to do your thing.
Me, I'm just some small girl from some village somewhere in Kisii, Nyamira.
So let's talk about the legislative work that you do in the House of Representatives. Maybe you can just let us know about that.
So you know, in the U.S., you're selling your policies, not buying vote, right? You work for the people. So a lot of my policies and the bills, I actually authored 27 bills, 27. And out of that 27, a handful of them actually got passed, which as a freshman legislator, let's go. One of them came from conversations that I was having with my constituency when I was campaigning, because you campaign on a platform, right? And then from that platform, it carries on to the bills that you author, because now you're working with your constituency, you're working with, you know, organizations, activist groups, you name it. It was around homelessness. How do we help not just my constituency, but the whole entire state of Minnesota, families not going to homelessness? So I authored a bill that was worth I asked for the moon. And if I land in somewhere, I've landed somewhere. I asked for 100 million for my bill. I wrote I need 100 million for making sure that families don't get into homelessness. I mean, by the time it was chopped up, handed over, because of the tight budget, it was 8 million. That is 8 million that this program now has that can help families. So my legislative work was centered on a couple of key platforms. Was housing, healthcare, education, and public safety. You know, making sure that you can go out and your kids can. You know, I grew up in a community-based environment where I could go out and play with my neighbors. Now that's changing. It's changing. You know, and so I'm really passionate about making sure that we have thriving communities, that when our community is safe, safety and health. Once you have those two things, everything else follows.
You also champion a lot for immigrants, but I would really like to know, how are you dealing with it, knowing that the big boss, let's not mention
the current administration,
the current administration is fighting against that. What challenges have you been facing with regards to that?
You know, let me just lay the groundwork. So immigration is a federal issue, not a state issue. I'm a state legislator, not Congress, right? So for me at the state level, states have the ability to create policies that actually address the common mwananchi of that state. And so Minnesota is really known to be very inclusive and very welcoming of immigrants. And so the challenges that we are seeing with the current administration is that we're having, you know, what we call immigration raids, where they're even running up citizens, my friend, because they're not verifying who these people are. These people are not going through due process like the Constitution, you know, mandates, And so the challenge has been, how do we take care of the affected families? You know, and there's a lot of Kenyans who are being impacted in the state of Minnesota, not just, you know, the Hispanic community, but all minority communities who are facing, you know, deportation orders. And so for us and for me and the people who are passionate about humanity, that's the core root piece of this. You know, we are looking at what resources, legal aid, right? If a family member has been detained by ICE, let's get a lawyer, let's figure out where they are, let's at least try to fight before they literally get shipped into, some people are getting shipped into countries where they don't even come from, my friend. You'll find yourself in Guatemala.
I had somebody who was in Belize. Somebody in Belize.
So we're sitting here going, hey, you know, so America is at a crossroads right now. We're losing the soul, the heart of democracy, and it's hard right now. It is, and we don't know what the next three. My friend, we have 3 more years. We haven't even finished a year.
My next question then would be, as an immigrant, you know, in the U.S., in U.S. politics, how important is it that your people, which are the Kisis, and you speak very highly of them, and I know you're very, very inclusive as well, your people, because I would feel like as long as you're not of a certain privilege, you're of this other side. So how do you make sure that your people are well represented?
I think for me, it's yes, I'm very proud to be Kisi. Don't get me wrong. Like I will shout that from the mountaintop. I am a Kisi through and through, right? Take pride in that. And I think it's important for especially as parents, because I'm seeing a whole generation of young people that we're losing who don't know our culture, who don't know our language. So as much as I am proud to be Kisi, I also understand the magnitude of my position. I'm not just jumping in. Kisi is a very small population compared to this very beautiful, diverse community that I represent. So I will never say that I'm representing Kisis. I'm always talking about I'm representing minority communities. We're talking about African immigrants. I'm talking about Asian immigrants. I'm talking about Latin American immigrants. All of these people, and of course, the white population. You know, who largely voted for me because our people don't vote, by the way. Oh, they don't vote.
Is it because they don't have cards?
There's a lot of factors to play into that, you know. And so the majority of the population who voted were white people, white people and Asians and
that was my next question, actually.
The Latin community. So for me, I have had the privilege of representing the most diverse district in the whole entire state of Minnesota. When we talk about racial diversity, right? And so as much as I'm being, you know, proud to be Kisi, I represent a larger picture than just, you know, the Kenyan community.
You have a lot of community projects that you have, and correct me if I'm wrong, because some of this I researched online in, you know.
There's stories out there that I don't even know.
Yes, they do say that you have community
yes, I do.
Enterprises.
Yes.
Maybe you can tell us what you were thinking when you were driving at this. You know, I saw sunny pads. I also talked about equity, but you can clarify that. And minimum. There's this. I don't want to say it because it's a kissy word.
Which one? Say it. Mwanyagetinge.
Yes.
My friend, are you kissy?
I'm half kissy.
You're half kissy? Yes, you are kissy.
Yes.
If you have some blood of you kissy, you are kissy. So yes. So,
say it again.
Mwanyagetinge.
Okay, so it's not Mwanyagetinge.
Mwanyagetinge. Now if you want to bring in the kissy part of it, getinge. And then you gotta add that little peach.
Yeah. Let's start off with sunny pads and tell us a little bit about what drove you to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of the project initiatives that I've participated in, they are community based, you know, because I understood the privilege that I have. Right. And so I was like, and I grew up in a home where my dad was like, my mom, my dad, you have to give back in one way or another, whether it is where you are locally or where you come from, right? And so for me, sandy naps, this whole idea of sandy naps is a project initiative that provides reusable sanitary pads to girls here in Kenya. But the best part about this too is I work with women in the US to sew these pads and then ship them here.
Nice.
But it has evolved to micro enterprises here. You know, realizing sustainability again of a community is instead of me shipping them here, which costs a lot of money, why don't we teach the women here to sew them and then, you know, sell them at a very affordable price so that they can provide some sort of financial support for these women. And so it came out of me coming here to Kenya because my parents were very instrumental in making sure that we came here at least once a year, right? Growing up. My cousins would be like, do you have pads? Do you have pads? Oh, those pads that you have, can I please have them? Yes. And in my mind, I'm like, I have access to these things. What do you mean you don't have access to them? True. So once I started researching I learned period poverty, you know, and and then I now started opening, because if something doesn't affect you, it doesn't exist in your world, right? So me, I didn't understand that there were women and there were young girls who literally did not have access to pads. There was a story that just broke my heart, and I was like, I needed to do something about it. They were using either leaves, they were using, you know, old mattress, you know, pads, sponges. Yeah. I was like, hi, Maze. I was shocked. Again, because I had the privilege of having access to these things. And so when I realized that, that's where this whole Sandy Naps idea came from, was born. And so far, it has been amazing, the work that we've done, especially in the Nyanza region. And now I just don't have the time to really invest into it.
You need soldiers down here.
My friend, are you ready? Let's go to it. You're a boss lady, right?
Yes.
Let's get it. Let's get it done.
Yes.
So that's where Sandy Naps came in, and then from there, you know, Momanyi was just. I had to. It's a community organization in the state of Minnesota. Actually, the largest Kenyan organization that caters to Kenyan immigrants. And I campaigned. Honestly, if it wasn't for our people, our people. Ngumu, watu wa ngumu, they're the ones who taught me resilience. Yes. Hey, these people took me to hell and back, and then to hell again, and then they brought me back to life again, you know. And so I ran, I campaigned to be the Momanyi president. And the challenges, where you're being challenged, because I was leading our older generation men. You know how they are very hard, where they think that a young girl like myself couldn't tell them anything. It wasn't for God. Even one of them one time came up to me, was like, I did not get elected to be lectured by you. I'm like, my friend, who is you? I told him, my brother, this is a community. We are volunteering here. You know, so you either come and serve your people or you don't. And if you don't, you live quietly. Me, I ran for president. You ran for another role. Stay in your lane. I stay in, you know, so it taught me resilience, number one. And it taught me how to navigate this space of culture and bring meaningful change to our community. So that's how Momanyi came about. And then at the moment, I am the founder of a company called Stronger Together LLC. And that came out of this necessity of the need that I'm seeing in women leadership, right? Where women are not equipped. Yeah, there's no resources. There are resources, but they are very scarce. Hey, with the accent. Scarce. I still have an accent, my friend. And then especially specifically in politics, where we want to empower our women to think beyond their day-to-day, you know, and venture into politics. So there's a couple of things that I'm doing, and of course, in my official capacity, I'm here. One of the reasons why I came to Kenya this time around is to look at how do we, there's so much resources over there. How do we broker partnerships and collaborations that are mutually beneficial? Me, I'm a representative of the state of Minnesota and my constituency. And so how do I tap into this market here in Kenya to open those pathways of collaboration and partnerships within the economic space? And so that's why I came here, to be honest. So as you were seeing, social media have been running up and down, is to what your politicians do when they go overseas, benchmark. I also came back to Kenya to benchmark. Benchmark away. Yes.
We're getting closer to the end of this interview, and I really loved every bit of it. But I mean, what leadership lessons have you learned from your first year in office?
Stand your ground, you know, and know who you are, your identity, and what you're rooted in. A lot of people are like, you need to calm down your culture. My friend, has anybody in that chamber also calmed down the culture? No, I am who I am because of where I come from. So know who you are and know your craft, especially as women ladies, both ladies. Know your craft inside and out. So when somebody comes and questions you, you can stand your ground. True. You have lived experiences that you can use to literally, anybody who comes and challenges you, they'll go back and say, she knows her stuff. I won't even need to challenge her. And then also, know the privilege. When you get to a certain kiwango, know the privilege you have.
Kiwango yani.
Is that even Swahili or Kisi?
That's Kisi, you say.
That's Kisi.
I'm saying it in Kiswahili, kiwango.
Kiwango, yes. That's Swahili.
Swahili is kiwango.
Kiwango. Hey, my friend, we'll leave it at that. You have to be humble enough to still relate to anybody and everybody.
Right.
I see a lot of people who get to a certain level and they no longer want to associate. Right. The protocols are there. You can't even get close to them. Protocols of love. Me, my friend, I'll talk to anybody and everybody. Me, I'm this simple. Yes. But I also understand the magnitude of this role and the privilege that comes with it. And being honest about that and what you do with that. And so those, I would say those are the lessons that I've learned. And standing your ground, meaning you stand on your values.
Right.
So nobody can come in and really, because me, I'll go with anything. But if it touches on my values, my friend, you'll find the wrong person. Right. Yes.
I mean, let's talk about a little bit about family life. How do you balance work life and being a mom, being a wife?
Hi.
How's it been so far since?
Thank you for asking me. That's the best question you can close with. Let me talk about my family. Let me brag about, the man behind this powerhouse.
Mommy.
Yes. I told you we're gonna have fun, right? Yes, I had great parents. But to be where I am right now, my friend, I've been here for how long? My kids are taken care of. It's because of my husband, my ride or die. Mr. Ondie, kiss banana.
Sweetie banana.
What else? Ebirangoti.
Oh God. Raboni.
All of Apanyabod. You name it. Whatever sweet names are out there, I will.
The only cockroach in your cupboard.
Let me tell you, the only cockroach. Now you reduce my husband to a cockroach.
That's what they usually say.
Really? I've never heard of that. But if it's a praise, I give it to him, because if it wasn't for him, ladies, take care of your business and take your time finding a partner who will put your needs first, who got your back regardless. Mr. Ondeki has my back. I don't have to question, and he allows me to do what I do. And he we've been together for 16 years, 16 good years. This man understands that me, I'm a different breed. So he has understood his role, and he plays it well. He supports me and gives me that flexibility. I have a 7-year-old, my beautiful daughter, Jada Ray, I'm coming home, sweetheart. And my beautiful son, who is turning 2 at the end of this month. So I need to go back home and see them. And he has me covered. I walk into my home, there's peace there. When you have peace, my friend, you can go out here and fight battles. Right. And you'll be just fine. Right. So my family life, I've been very privileged and blessed. Honestly, it's God's mercy and favor that I have that support system. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. Right. Yes.
I mean, one last question. What advice do you have for women who are ambitious of being in positions such as yours, or just in general, even in business?
Yes. Don't wait for somebody to give you permission to do something. Do not. We women sometimes we sit here and we apologize and we try to be polite to make somebody comfortable. My friend, who told you need to make somebody comfortable? So I would advise, very simple, do not wait for somebody to give you permission to do your God-given talent. Because when you do that, not only are you blocking your own blessing, you're also blocking a blessing of somebody else. Right. Maybe you're a blessing to somebody else, and because you're here waiting for somebody's validation, because we women, we sit here and we wait for somebody to validate us, whether it is in business, whether it is in politics, whether there's statistics that says, especially in politics, because I'm a politician, it takes 7 to 9 times asking a woman before they decide to run for office. Imagine. Right. And then when you get there, you sit there and now you want to make people comfortable because, no, don't apologize for anything. Right. And so if there's something that you have been convicted of, step out in faith. Right. Sometimes most of these things that I've done in my life, and people are looking at me going, how the heck did you do that? Right. It wasn't because I knew what the heck I was doing. I literally stepped out in faith and I was like, all right, God, I know you're leading me down that path. I don't know how it's going to pan out. I don't know where the results are going to come from. But once you take that risk and step out, if it doesn't work, at least you know it doesn't work. Right. But the chances it works, my friend, people are going to be looking at you. Hey, all right, God. All right, God. All right, God. I want this to work.
Work it out. Work spoken out. I've stepped out in faith. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much for
you.
awarding me with your time. You're a woman of grace.
Thank you.
A woman of strength and power. I'm glad that we're from the same clan, probably.
We are.
All right, so just tell them your Instagram handles, or if you want them to find you.
Just Google Hulda Momanyi.
Yes,
you'll find everything, because I don't even know the handles anymore.
Really?
I don't.
All right.
Yes, but thank you so much. My sister, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You are one of those people that, I'm passionate about women, especially women who steps out from out of the regular social comfort zone of what a woman should be. You're here building your own empire.
Yeah.
So step out with no apologies. Don't apologize.
Thank you.
You people support her. Subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the end of this show today. My name is Natasha Gunda. You can find me on all my social media platforms at I_am_Tamasha. And you can like, share, and subscribe so that we can continue bringing you more of these videos. Till next time, see you guys.